Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are finally here, chapter 102, The Grand Line, the big one.
The title is A Whale of a Tale, which, in hindsight, is a spectacular understatement.
Understatement of the entire series so far. They survived Reverse Mountain, they're officially in the most dangerous sea in the world, and what's the very first thing that happens? The entire ship gets eaten, swallowed whole by a whale the size of a city.
And inside that whale is another island with a painted sky. This is the kind of stuff we're here for. This is the promise of One Piece fulfilled in a single chapter. If you want to follow us as we try to make sense of a world where you can get shipwrecked inside a biological creature, make sure you're part of our crew on whatever platform you're listening on. We wouldn't want you to get lost in here with us.
Let's begin. The Straw Hats are shooting out of Reverse Mountain. The mood is electric. They did it. They conquered the impossible mountain. They're on the one-way track to the One Piece. And Usopp, our brave warrior of the sea, is on lookout, and he spots it first. This is a moment of pure triumph. Think about it. Nami just proved she's a world-class navigator. Sanji is one step closer to the All Blue. Zoro is on the path to Mihawk. Usopp survived. And Luffy's just having the time of his life.
It's the culmination of the entire East Blue saga. Every villain they defeated, every island they saved, was a step towards this single moment, cresting that final wave and seeing the Grand Line spread out before them. There's a palpable sense of accomplishment. They've passed the entrance exam.
Exactly. The exam is over. Now class begins. And the first lesson is that you know nothing. Usopp up in the crow's nest is screaming his head off. He sees a mountain.
A giant mountain blocking their path, which, according to Nami, is impossible. This is where the tone shifts so perfectly, from pure elation to utter confusion. Nami's confidence is absolute in this moment. She's just navigated a waterway that defies physics. Her charts, her senses, her knowledge are all she has.
And they've never been wrong, not in a way that matters. She's the one who gets them through storms, the one who reads the weather when no one else can. Her exact words are that there should be open sea ahead of them. There is no mountain on her map. And for a navigator, if it's not on the map, it doesn't exist. It's a crisis of faith for her.
But the Grand Line doesn't care about your maps. It doesn't care about your faith in cartography. It operates on a different set of principles entirely. The mountain gets closer and they realize it's not rock, it's skin, and it has a massive, unblinking eye.
Chills, man, every time. That panel of the eye opening or just being there, it's one of the most iconic images in the whole series. It redefines scale. We thought Arlong Park was big. We thought the Barati was a big ship. This is a living creature that you could mistake for a landmark. That's the perfect introduction to this sea. Everything you think you know is wrong. The first wall you hit isn't an enemy fleet, it's a living creature so colossal you mistook it for geography. That's the scale Oda's working with now.
There's a beautiful horror to it. The crew realizes it probably doesn't even see them. They're a speck, a gnat on its skin. To this creature, the Going Merry is just a piece of driftwood. This isn't malice, it's indifference. The most terrifying force in the universe is often sheer, unthinking scale. They are simply too small to matter to it.
So they're scrambling. What's the plan? Nami's yelling to turn, Zoro's ready to cut something, Sanji's probably making sure Nami is okay. It's chaos. And Luffy, our brilliant captain, has an idea, his way of stopping the ship.
It involves a cannon.
It always involves a cannon, but his idea is just to shoot the living mountain with the cannon, not to create a reverse thrust, not to warn it, just to shoot the living mountain. It's such a perfect Luffy solution. Problem is big, cannon is big, therefore, cannon solves problem. The logic is flawless if you don't think about it for more than half a second.
It's his default setting for problem solving. In doubt, apply kinetic force. He doesn't see a complex biological entity or a navigational hazard. He sees a wall, and walls are meant to be broken.
And of course, the cannonball does absolutely nothing. It's like throwing a pebble at a battleship. The ship just gently bumps into the whale's side with a dunk. It's almost comical. The tension just deflates into this pathetic little donk sound.
It's a moment of utter futility. They have brought their strongest conventional weapon to bear, and the target did not even register the attack. It underscores just how out of their league they are.
But it wasn't nothing. The impact, small as it was, breaks the Going Merry's figurehead. The ram's head that sits at the very front, it snaps right off. And that's not just any piece of the ship. That's Luffy's special seat.
That is his throne. We've seen him there time and time again. It's the place he sits to look out at the horizon and feel the wind. It's his personal vantage point for every new adventure. It's more than just wood. It's the symbolic representation of his position as captain and the embodiment of the ship's adventurous spirit.
Yes, it's the soul of the ship. You don't mess with the figurehead. It's the face of the crew. It's what leads them into battle and towards their dreams. It's his spot, and this whale just broke it without a second thought. The crew was just shouting at it, calling it a stupid whale for not noticing them. But for Luffy, this just got personal.
He doesn't see an impassive force of nature anymore. He sees an aggressor. The whale, in its indifference, committed an act of profound disrespect. It didn't just damage their vessel, it insulted the heart of their journey.
Yes, it's the enemy. He sees something that hurt his ship, and you do not hurt Luffy's ship. You do not mess with his friend's home. That is the one line you do not cross. We saw it with the Nayabon brothers trying to steal the Mary, and we're seeing it now on a cosmic scale. So he does the only thing that makes sense to him.
He jumps onto the railing, winds back his arm, and punches a whale the size of a mountain directly in the eye.
That is our captain. That is pure, uncut Monkey D. Luffy. It's one of the most defining character moments for him in the entire series. It doesn't matter if the obstacle is a man, a system, or a living continent. If it hurts what he loves, he is going to punch it. There is no other calculus in his head. There's no risk assessment, no thought of the consequences. There is only a violation of his principles and the immediate physical response.
A very simple and very effective philosophy, though the immediate effects are often complicated. This is the same logic he will one day apply to a celestial dragon. The scale of the opponent is irrelevant. The transgression is all that matters. In this case, you broke my favorite chair. In the future, you shot my friend. The response is the same, an immediate, righteous punch.
Complicated is one word for it. The whale, which was just peacefully floating there, now knows they exist, and it is furious. You see this one massive eye focus on their tiny ship. The indifference is gone. Now there is intent. Now there is anger, and it's all directed at them.
Luffy just squares up to it. He's ready to fight. His posture is identical to how he'd face any other opponent. He is challenging a creature that could swallow islands to a one-on-one fist fight. The audacity is breathtaking.
And the whale roars, a sound so big it probably creates its own weather system. Then it opens its mouth and the sea itself just disappears. The water starts flowing into its maw like a waterfall into a canyon. The world turns into a black cavern, and the Going Merry is just pulled in, gone, swallowed whole.
The speed at which it happens is terrifying. One moment they are on the open sea, the next they're caught in an unstoppable current, being drawn into the literal belly of the beast. It's a force beyond their control. They can't fight it. They can't outrun it. They are consumed in an instant.
The entire crew, except for Luffy, is consumed, because our captain is still standing on the whale's head, completely baffled. He was ready for a fight, not for his opponent to eat his friends. He wanted a brawl, an honorable duel, but the whale just cheated.
He has no idea what just happened. He's just alone on top of this creature's head, wondering where his ship went. The consequences of his punch were not what he anticipated. He provoked the beast, but it didn't attack him. It removed the very thing he was trying to protect.
But he doesn't panic. He doesn't despair. He just gets angrier. He starts pummeling the whale's skull, demanding it spit his crew back out. It's that immediate, unwavering devotion. His crew is in danger, so he will beat the problem until it's solved. There is no other option in his mind.
As he's doing this, the whale starts to submerge. It's going under. The situation goes from bad to worse. Now he's losing his battlefield, about to be pulled into the depths of the Grand Line.
And just before it goes down completely, Luffy spots something on its head. A metal hatch, like a submarine door, just bolted right onto the whale's skin. What? My shipwright brain just short-circuited. How do you even attach that? What kind of sealant are you using to make that watertight against whale skin and Grand Line water pressure? The engineering is mind-boggling.
Which raises so many questions. Whales do not naturally grow steel hatches. This is the first clue that this is not just a random monster. This is a situation with a history. Someone has been here. Someone has altered this creature.
Someone did this. Someone has been here before. And before Luffy can even process it, the hatch opens, he falls in, and he's pulled into a tunnel inside the whale's body. The chapter cuts away from him there, leaving him lost somewhere in the whale's body.
And we go to the others, inside, and we're left just as disoriented as they are.
Inside the stomach of a giant whale. But it's not what you think. It's not a dark, acid-filled nightmare. They're still on the Mary, floating on an interior sea. The water is calm. The ship is intact for the most part.
And above them is a clear blue sky with fluffy white clouds. It's a complete sensory paradox. They should be in a dark, fleshy cavern surrounded by digestive enzymes. Instead, they appear to be outside on a pleasant day.
A sky inside a whale. Nami is losing her mind, thinks she's dreaming, and you can't blame her. Her entire understanding of the world has been shattered 3 times in 10 minutes. First, the living mountain, then getting eaten, now a tropical paradise in a whale's gut. How is this possible? Is this a devil fruit power? Some kind of Grand Line illusion?
It has the feeling of a constructed reality. The sky looks a little too perfect, a little too painted, like the ceiling of a grand cathedral or an old theater. It's designed to create an illusion of normalcy in the most abnormal of places. It's an act of deliberate environmental design.
And then they see it. In the middle of this stomach ocean, there's an island. A real island with palm trees and a house on it. A house with a chimney. Someone lives here. Someone woke up this morning, had a cup of coffee, and is now having their home jostled around because some kid punched their landlord in the eye.
So we have an ocean, an island, and a sky all contained within a living creature. This isn't just an anomaly of nature. This is a habitat. Someone engineered this. This isn't a prison. It's a home. This changes the entire context. The whale is not just a monster. It's a vessel, a mobile ecosystem.
They're trying to figure out what to do, what to make of all this, and then this huge shadow passes under the ship. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, a giant squid rises from the water. A kraken inside the whale.
Another monster. Just when they think they've seen it all, the internal ecosystem proves to be just as dangerous as the external one. It suggests a complex food chain exists within this bizarre environment.
But before it can even attack the Mary, thwomp, a massive harpoon like the size of a telephone pole skewers it from the direction of the island. It's just taken out instantly. The power behind that shot is immense. That's not just some guy fishing for his dinner. That's a monster hunter.
And that's the confirmation. Zoro and Sanji say it immediately. There's someone living here. Any doubt is erased. They have entered a territory that is claimed and defended.
Someone strong enough to hunt sea monsters inside a whale's stomach. And they're both just hoping that person is friendly, because if they're not, they are trapped in a locked room with someone who can one-shot a kraken. The odds are not super.
Which is where we're left. The crew in a strange, impossible world about to meet its inhabitant, and Luffy lost somewhere in the fleshy tunnels of the whale trying to find them.
What a way to start. This isn't just a new arc. This is a statement of purpose for the Grand Line. The rules are gone. Anything can happen. Forget everything you learned in the East Blue. Logic is secondary to adventure.
It's a complete break from the East Blue. There, the threats were pirates with different powers operating within a world that, while fantastical, still adhered to certain basic laws of physics and geography. Here, the world itself is the first and most powerful enemy. It's unpredictable, illogical, and actively hostile.
And it's an enemy Luffy punched in the face. What a legend. The author comment this week from Odo was just him talking about some TV show and asking if it's hot in here.
He's just relaxing while we're all trying to process the fact that there's a pocket dimension inside a whale.
Classic Oda. Just drops one of the most conceptually bizarre and visually stunning introductions on us, and then wonders about the temperature. Bro, it's just you. You're the one turning up the heat. He's a storytelling furnace.
Okay, but think about what this means for the Mary. She's already taken damage. The figurehead is broken. That's a significant wound to the ship's spirit. Now she's floating in what are presumably digestive fluids.
Don't say that. Don't say digestive fluids. It's a magic ocean. Let me have this. If I think about the acidity and the long-term effects on the keel, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
It's a stomach, Franky. That can't be good for the wood. This journey is going to be incredibly hard on the ship itself. We're seeing the first real signs of that wear and tear. The Grand Line will test the crew, but it will also test their home. This is the beginning of the Mary's long, arduous trial.
You're right. First the figurehead, now this. The Mary is a member of the crew. Seeing her take hits like this is rough. It's like watching one of your friends get hurt. But she's tough. She was a gift from Kaya, built with love. She's got heart. She'll make it. They all will. Luffy will find them.
He has to navigate the whale's internal systems first. He saw a hatch, but now he seems to be in some kind of tunnel. It's a literal labyrinth. For a man with no sense of direction, being lost inside another living being is a particularly unique challenge.
He'll just punch his way out. He'll find the whale's heart and tell it to cooperate. That's the Luffy way. I have absolute faith. This whole setup is it's perfect. It's weird, it's dangerous, it's full of mystery, and it's centered around a problem only the Straw Hats could create for themselves. No other crew would have this problem, because no other captain would punch a whale for breaking his chair.
By antagonizing the local wildlife.
By defending the honor of his special seat. It's a matter of principle. And that punch is what's going to lead them to whoever is inside, who I bet is going to be crucial for their journey. No question. This isn't a detour. This is the main path, hidden inside a whale.
I agree. The entrance to the Grand Line is guarded, or perhaps occupied, by this creature for a reason. Its presence feels deliberate, not accidental. And the person inside is part of that reason. They are the keeper of the gate, in a very literal sense.
We just have to find out if they're a friend or a foe. My money's on friend. You don't set up a whole ecosystem in a whale's gut if you're a bad guy. That's eccentric good guy behavior. That's the kind of project a super guy takes on.
We'll see. The Grand Line doesn't always operate on clear moral alignments. Friend and foe can be very fluid concepts here.
True, but I'm feeling optimistic. Super optimistic. This is what we came for. Alright, that was chapter 102. So many questions. Who lives in the whale? Why is the whale there? Is it okay to punch a whale if it breaks your chair? Let us know what you think the answers are in the comments below. We read all of them.
Okay, predictions for chapter 103. What do you have?
Prediction 1, Luffy is going to navigate the tunnels and end up in the guy's house through like a drain pipe or something. He's not going to find the front door. He's going to burst into the kitchen while the guy is cooking that giant squid.
I could see that. My first prediction is related. The man inside is a doctor. The hatch, the internal structure, the careful maintenance of the ecosystem. This isn't a prison. The whale is his patient, and he lives inside it to take care of it.
Ooh, a whale doctor. I like that. Okay, my second prediction, Zoro and Sanji are going to get into a fight immediately. Not with the man in the whale, but with each other, about how to approach him. Zoro will want to be cautious, Sanji will probably be concerned if Nami is safe, and they'll start bickering before they even meet the guy.
Plausible. My second prediction, we will see markings on the whale's skin from the outside. I think the reason it's blocking the entrance is because it has been ramming its head against the red line for years, and the man inside is trying to stop it from killing itself. The scars on its head might be from that.
Bro, that's heavy, but it fits. The Grand Line is a place of big emotions. Okay, my final prediction. I think the whale's name is Laboon.
Just feels right. A big, goofy, lovable name for a big, goofy, lovable whale.
My final prediction, the man inside is connected to a legendary crew from the past, possibly even the Roger Pirates. To be stationed at the very entrance to the Grand Line, you have to be someone significant. He's not just some castaway, he's a gatekeeper.